Hello and welcome to my Tarot Corner. So, earlier today I did a very comprehensive reading about JR Moehringer, only later to see that nothing I did was filmed and it made me really cross. But unfortunately, I cannot do the same reading again because you know that there is this, rule that I follow of what is called worn reading. Worn reading, it's WORN, which means that when you are asking the same question twice, the universe is telling you in the second time exactly what you want to hear. This is what my mentor used to tell me. Whenever the reading is too good to be true, whenever you are getting too good cards, the cards are telling you, telling the querent exactly what he wants to hear, that means that you're not the first reader that the querent went to. And I tested that quite a few times. Whenever I got too good to be true reading, I asked the person in front of me, so is it the first time that you're doing this? And almost, there was not even once a time when that person said, oh, yes, you're the first one I went to. Usually there was, yes, I asked someone yesterday, not exactly the same, but when you are going into that, you see that it's exactly the same question, only paraphrased. So I'm not going to do the same reading because I cannot. So I'm going to do another one about JR Moehringer. So JR Moehringer yesterday put out a piece in the New Yorker in which he is describing the time when he was working with Prince Harry on Spare, reminiscing. But it is kind of obvious that the meaning or the main reason that he's doing that, it's probably the main reason is because he was asked by Penguin Random House, and probably because Meghan insisted that he, as an impartial person that can come out and say what a wonderful person she is, will come out and give an impartial account of what a nice person she is and how supportive she was and how she came and gave him these treats and how beautiful she treated him. So I think that was the main reason that he had to do that. And then probably part of his contract was that he should do something like that in order to make people want to buy Spare. Although I don't see why should people want to buy Spare after so long. Most people that wanted to read that book already did, and those who don't, they won't start buying this book now because of JR Moehringer's piece in the New Yorker. And then he had to he had to come out and defend his fact-checking abilities, especially with the clothing shop where Prince Harry said that he was waiting for their sales, and they came out and said that they have no sales, and he, of course, says that after the publication and after that shop, I think I don't remember the name of the shop, but I think, but after the publication, after that shop said that they don't have any sales, he says that people came out with even photographs of sales in that specific shop. And of course, that is childish. It's like a man that is being caught in a lie, and he is needs he has a very dire need to prove that he was right, that he wasn't wrong, that he did the job that he should have done. And of course, there is the need to show that Harry's intellectual abilities are not as bad as people think. So it comes out in a way that Harry is talking about how his intellectual abilities were always belittled, and how bad he felt about it over the years. And then JR Moehringer is talking about how Harry is not intellectually challenged as we all think. So I'm going to look into JR Moehringer's true motives, which is not exactly what I did in the previous reading, because in the previous reading I looked at the things that he doesn't want to see, the things that he wants to, the things that he wants to happen, the things that he doesn't want to happen. So here I am going to look at his true motives. This is what this reading is going to be. And maybe we'll get good enough cards to give us insights. I mean, the previous reading I did was so good, so I just hope that I'll get good enough cards in this reading as well. The deck that I'm using is the Sorcerer Tarot. It is a very eclectic tarot deck. It is, it is around fairy tales and a little bit connected to magic and, ancient magic and stories. And I'm using this because I do believe that the Sussexes look at JR Moehringer as this magician or sorcerer that is there to fix their image, and they want, at least Meghan is counting on his impartial description of her by him to help her with the bullying allegations, and she thinks that by him telling what a nice person she is, that will help her prove that she is not a bully, and that Harry will be able to prove to the world that he's smart, because JR Moehringer is saying that he's smart. So they are counting on him to be this magician or this sorcerer that will fix everything that is wrong. Okay, so let's start by saying my disclaimer. This is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. Okay, so let's clear the deck. And let's start asking. So what are the true motives behind JR Moehringer piece in the New Yorker about the process of working with Prince Harry. Why is JR Moehringer, why did he feel the need to write about his process of working with Prince Harry? Why did JR Moehringer need to write about him working with Prince Harry, about the way that Meghan treated him while he was working with Prince Harry? What are the true motives behind JR Moehringer's piece in The New Yorker about the time he worked with Prince Harry on writing the book Spare? Because, you know, it's not a usual thing that a writer is coming out and talks about the process of working with a celebrity after writing his book. And I think that in a way he even feels that it was his book, not Prince Harry's. Okay, so the first card is the basis. This is the cross of truth. So the basis of this reading, or the basis of the question, is the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is a card of wishes coming true. Now, I will talk first about the card, the psychological interpretation of the card, and then I will talk about what we see in the card itself. Because the card and the intuition of the card is letting us or letting me feel is sometimes different than what the psychological interpretation in this deck. So the Nine of Cups is a card that speaks about wishes coming true. And when in this instance, because we're talking about the true motives to do something, we need to look at what exactly he wanted to achieve. So he wanted to get success. This is about achieving success. When you want your wishes to come true, you want to achieve success, you want to achieve a win. It's when you still haven't reached what your goal. You want to get that. So this is about wanting to get that Nine of Cups. This is the hidden motive behind all of this. This is the basis of the situation. And this is something that even he himself cannot even say to himself. So he cannot even admit to himself that this is the main issue here. So when we're looking at this card, this is not a regular Nine of Cups. As you can see, we see here two naked women. They are sitting in nature, and they have this open book that looks like a geometry. So they are studying, but they are also very much into one another. So it seems like a romantic card, but also a card of very much pure love. It doesn't have to be sexual love. It's a very serene card. It gives you a very it gives me at least the feelings of very pure feelings of pure love. Now, as I said, this is something that he wants to achieve. He wants to get to achieve those feelings. He wants to achieve that kind of happiness. So this is a degree of happiness or a degree of perfection that he wants to get. This is something that's very sublime that he wants to achieve. So this is not something carnal. This is something very, very, very spiritual and very emotional. Okay. So, what are his wishes as he is professing them to himself? And we get the moon card. And the moon card is a very difficult card. The moon card is a card that speaks about we need to talk about it. It's about a person that it's another card of emotions. It's a card of a person that is unstable emotionally. So the reasons that he needs that perfect emotions are because he is unstable emotionally. So in a way, he is even admitting that. Now, just see the similarities between these two cards. Both of these women are holding a wand in their hands. And but here there are the moon is very well, of course, the moon is very it is the mother card. So when he speaks to himself, when he is admitting to himself, he wants to achieve this kind of emotional stability. He wants to achieve some kind of happiness. He is willing to admit to himself that he wants this kind of stability, that he wants emotional stability, that he wants, and maybe he's being pestered, maybe the Harkles or maybe even Meghan is pestering him to do that. Maybe she has been doing it for a long time. I don't know, maybe that's something that he has been, has been trying to avoid doing for a long time and had no choice. Maybe that is why it's coming out now and didn't come out before. I know that now it comes out after the coronation because he just couldn't do that before the coronation. But he had a long time since the book came out until now to do that. So maybe he was just nagged so much that he just had to do that, just had to brush her away. So this is another possibility. So maybe his emotional instability was because she nagged him, and maybe she is that woman here that we see. So she is the one with the horns on her head that is pestering him and is bothering him and is causing him this instability emotionally. So this is a possibility that could be the reason why, and one of the reasons why he went out with this piece. Okay, so what is helpful? What is the things what are the things that are helping him, or what are the things that this piece is supposed to help? And what I'm getting here is the King of Swords. Okay, so the King of Swords, that is the equilibrium king, that is the Libra queen, that is the king that wants to pacify someone. That this gives me even more the feeling that he needs to pacify someone, because and to that he is being pestered by someone that is nagging him, and probably Meghan, to do that she has been nagging him to come out with this, especially the part in which she was so wonderful. So he thinks that this will help him by just making the peace. This is about pacifying her. This is about making peace. This is about just shutting someone up. That swords is air energy. Air energy, it's about thoughts. It's about ability to communicate. It's also about resignation. So, but this is the appeaser. So he is someone who's trying to appease someone. And I think that he is trying to appease someone, probably Meghan and maybe Penguin Random House, because maybe she's pestering them as well, and probably Harry as well. So, what are the challenges that were in his way? And we're getting the Hermit. And the Hermit is a card of someone who had to go a long way in order to find the truth. So he had to go a long way to go through a process of meditation in order to understand what it is that he needs to do. So he was not in a good place. He was not in a good place. He had to go somewhere in order to meditate, to find the truth, in order to realize what it is that he needs to do. And when the Hermit comes in the negative, in the obstacle place, it shows that it is even a procrastinating card. And since he himself is not a procrastinating person, I think that this shows that the fact that it took him so long to come out with this piece is because he was delaying it. This is a person who is waiting for things to happen without him doing anything for it. So he was waiting and maybe hoping that things will just, calm and just people, that Meghan and Harry just will leave him alone. He was hoping that it will just subside, that he won't have to do that. And this is a person that wishes even to go out, to be alone, to be in solitude, but not face that what he needed to face. So he had these obstacles that he had to face them, but the Hermit in the end needs to face those obstacles. He needs to see the truth and then deal with the truth. He has there is no other way. So in order to move on, he has to do that. And these were the obstacles. So he would rather be away and not face that and not do that. So that wasn't something that he did happily or gladly. So he really wanted to be over with, to be over and done with, and leave it behind him. And he thought that he will feel this relief and happiness after it's done with. And then let's see the outcome. So how does he feel now? And what I'm getting here is a card that came in the reverse, and this deck wasn't in the reverse. So we'll read it in the reverse, and it's the Five of Swords. And the Five of Swords, I will put it in the upright, but I will tell you what a reverse meaning is, because the Five of Swords is a card of someone who feels that, who has to come out to get off the fence and do something. This is a person that looks at his options and knows that none of his options is a good option. This is a person that knows that no matter what he does, nothing will be good. There is no good option. Nothing will come out to the better way here. But he has no choice. He has to do something. So because doing nothing is worse. So he has to come off the fence. He has to do something, and he has to take a chance. So this is a person who is afraid of getting hurt. This is a person who is isolating himself, as the Hermit is, and a person that is not satisfied with what he has. And when it is in the negative, it's a person that is compromising. And is a person that is passive and he lets others decide for him. So let's say that writing that article in the New Yorker was not his decision. That was something that he couldn't just say that he's not doing that. It was something that was dropped on him. It was something that was, after he procrastinated, it was dropped on him. It was something that he couldn't say no to. And he tried to stall, he tried to wait, he tried in any way that he could, but in the end, the decisions were made above his head and he couldn't say no, and he doesn't feel good now. So when the Five of Swords is in the reverse, so you cannot even reach the Six of Swords, which is the vacation that is well deserved for a person that is taking the rough decision. So he doesn't feel good. He hasn't reached the Nine of Cups. So he feels bad about what he has done. So just have no mistakes about it. He doesn't feel good. Okay, so that is the tarot. And I have to say that it's even more poignant than my previous reading. Okay, so I brought two oracle decks. The first one is the Creativity Oracle. It's a deck by Amy Zerner and Monteferber. Their decks, they have a tarot deck that is beautiful, and its imaging is very much like the pictures here. So it's, as a tarot deck, it's a little bit difficult to work with. You see the style, which looks like a tapestry, or so it's beautiful, but it's hard to work with. But as an oracle for creative people, it's beautiful. And look at this beautiful image of a woman that is working at her desk. You can say that she's drawing, or I think that she's drawing or writing. It's just beautiful. And so the images are beautiful, and the messages are on the other side of the cards. It has 70, I think 80 cards in this deck. And this deck is good for creators. It's good for any sort of person that, it doesn't have to be a creator, but it all depends on how you read the message. So every message needs to be read according to the way that you, or to the situation in life as it is right now. So what I'm going to do is look into the way that JR Moehringer feels right now after writing this piece in the New Yorker. I don't know if it's an op-ed or if it's an article, but let's just see how he feels right now. So let's clear the deck. Okay, so how does JR Moehringer feel after writing the article in the New Yorker about his work with Prince Harry on Spare? How does JR Moehringer feel after writing his piece in the New Yorker on working with Prince Harry on the book Spare? How does JR Moehringer feel right now? How does JR Moehringer feel right now? How does JR Moehringer feel after writing his piece in the New Yorker about despair? Okay, so let's see what we get. So what I'm doing is, first of all, I'm looking at the card, and we have two women in this card. One that looks like this Renaissance woman, and another one that is walking. This one looks like a statue, and this one looks like a woman who is walking in this forest, and there is this castle far away and this lake here. Let's see what the message is here. And the message is habits. Examine habits that may impede the pathway of your goals and encourage beneficial ones. So right now, this is what he is thinking or feeling. So he's right now examining his habits, looking into the things that he should keep and the things that he should leave. And the message is looking at his own habits or other person involved in his situation to see if he is dealing with habits that heal or habits that harm his goal. Because we all have habits, and some of them are habits that are healing and some are harmful. And these are habits that are not only his habits, this could be habits that are for other persons that are involved in this situation. Now we are asking about his process of writing this book with Harry, habits, and Harry does have habits, as you know. He didn't talk about Harry's habits at all. And I think that now, after writing that piece, I think that he is looking into Harry's habits, and maybe some of those habits also, he was tempted to try some of those habits. I don't know. I'm just, this is completely allegedly. This is just because I got this card, and I'm trying to think, why did we get this card when we know that Harry has very damaging habits, and we're getting this card about examining habits. And examining habits, it's about not only good habits, it's also about bad habits. And it's not only about his bad habits, it's also about another person's habits that is connected to this current situation. So I think that right now, after he wrote this article, he is thinking about the way that Prince Harry's habits influenced the way that this book was written, and the things that were said and written in this book, and the way that it influenced the content of this book. Okay, so that is one thing. The other thing, the other oracle deck is Dark Confession of the Soul. Now, this oracle deck is mainly for relationships, and here it could be for romantic relationships, but not necessarily. And it is about the way that a person feels regarding another person. And here what I want to see is, how did JR Moehringer, feel towards Harry while they were still working together? So how did he feel while they were working together? What were his candid feelings towards Harry? And how, I suppose he did not show Harry his feelings, but how did he really see Harry at that time? So let's clear the deck. Okay, so how did JR Moehringer really feel about Prince Harry while he was working with him on writing Spare? How did JR Moehringer really feel about Prince Harry while working with him on the book Spare? And let's see what card we get here. And the card that I'm getting is, I knew I was losing you, but I didn't do anything to fight for you. Okay, so this is more for a romantic relationship, but just think about the message when he was, and just try to combine both of these and try to think about the times when they, and he is talking about long nights, about 2 a.m. phone calls. Just think about trying to work with an addict and knowing that sometimes he's losing you, but not trying too hard to fight for this book, to fight for this project, to fight for things to be better. So I suppose that JR Moehringer just wanted this to be over and done with. So he wasn't having the time of his life when he was working with Harry. This is how I gather it when I'm combining both of these messages together. Okay, so this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.